Well, Ben Murray Bruce has been called out by a community of citizens tracking the implementation of government projects. They call themselves Tracker. Well, Tracker has requested to know how the Bayelsa East Senator spent the 250 million naira he nominated in the 2017 budget for the people of his constituency. Now, People's Democratic Party has warned the presidency against engaging in what it describes as wicked politics. Now, PDP was reacting to the arrest of Dr. Donyo Kupe by the EFCC. The opposition party has called for his release, describing the president's actions as acts of intimidation and harassment. Well, it's boiling. It's politically correct to say the kitchen is getting hot. Who stays and who leaves? Stove on, pot on fire, it's cooking time. Well, as Political Stew, I'm Sulaiman Leda. Welcome. Now, Jamal Khashoggi has been honored. Now, the slain Saudi journalist has won the Times Award along with 3 other journalists and a news organization as the Person of the Year. Khashoggi, who was murdered in the Saudi consulate in Turkey, was recognized for his brave contribution to journalism. Now, quote, this year we are recognizing 4 journalists and 1 news organization who have paid a terrible price to seize the challenge of this moment. Jamal Khashoggi, Maria Ressa Wallon, and Kyo So, and the Capital Gazette of Annapolis, Maryland. Well, you can get to watch us live on the go at tvcnews.tv/live streaming. We're live on YouTube, TVC News Nigeria Live, and youtube.com/Political Stew. You can also watch us live on Facebook, and remember to download the Political Stew app on Google Play Store and follow the show and news and politics. By the way, Political Stew is also available on iOS. We'll take a moment. When we'll come back, we'll talk politics with the women. As we move towards 2019, a whole lot has been happening, and we're asking about the readiness of the women. Recall, we've had quite a handful of them, and today we're being joined by Elishama Rosemary Ideh. She's a former presidential aspirant. Good to have you join us.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
I really don't like it when I put that, preceding, say, former. What happened?
I was with a party, Alliance for New Nigeria, but a whole lot of us, the new political aspirants for the presidential race, we decided to get together and in a consensus agreement, in a pact. We call ourselves the pact. And
oh, you were part of that?
Yes, I was part of that. So we're like, we are too many out there. And we really need to agree and let us vote amongst ourselves. Let us just pick one candidate so that we can all come together and use the power of collaboration to push that one person. And we signed a consensus agreement, and we put in criteria in place that we need amongst ourselves to be able to choose that one person. And a winner emerged. And of course, I had to step down because I gave my word. And those are the sort of things we should be looking at for in the political terrain. Because politics is about words and promises. So if we have leaders along the trail and they are giving their words and they can't keep it, then we should be very mindful of them. No matter how big their ambition are, once you give your word, that is the mark of a true leader.
We'll come back to
able to keep it.
We'll come back to that because I think once someone looked me in the eye and said, Sulaiman, promises are meant to be broken. So, but we'll come back to that. And let's talk about the pact.
Yeah.
So who, I don't know, because after the pact, we just realized that there wasn't any pact at the end of the day for some.
Yeah, because most of them did not, they thought they were going to emerge. And we all sat down, we agreed. And it was an open, free and fair election. We're only about 18 people that we started with. Along the line, we dropped, it was now 11. And everybody that stayed through the election process, to electing ourselves, we all knew what was on the table. There was no game, there was nobody was being cheated or anything. And I think they thought that they were going to emerge. But we were a lot of people. It's only one person that we emerged. And when that person finally emerged, everybody, a whole lot of other people fell off the table, and they were like, well, since it's not me, I'm not going to go ahead with this agreement anymore.
Are you still backing the candidate that emerged from that pact?
I am still with, luckily for me, the person that emerged happens to be, we happen to be in the same party, so it was easy for me to give him my support. And that is where I am presently, except things change along the line.
That's Mr.
Durotoye, yes.
Okay, now, because now I'm quite interested, I really want us to talk more about the women.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a good thing to hear that one of the women actually dropped out. But now I think you've just explained why this is about. It then means that you kept to your word.
Yes.
So you're quite different from those who said, promises are meant to be broken.
Oh, no, you cannot do a public declaration, make a promise publicly, and you don't keep your words, then what sort of leader are you? Because when it comes to politics is about words and what you tell the people. And if you cannot keep your words are your integrity, they should be your bond. If you can't keep them, no matter what it costs you, then I don't think you're fit to be a leader.
Do you think the nation, talking about Nigeria, is ready for, a woman president?
The reality that I found on ground is that Nigerians are not ready, but the women are ready. They are ready. They are ready, and I think Nigerians should be ready for them, because we are a nation that...
But the women are part of Nigeria. So,
yeah.
So when you say the women are ready,
the people
but
of the
Nigerians
nation,
are not
yeah,
ready.
because Nigerians are still biased about a woman being in a sensitive position of authority. We are a gender-biased society. We're, a patriarchal society, and we still believe that the power belongs to the men. But it's changing gradually, and with my experience out there when I was on the trail, a lot of men, my greatest support was with men. And of course, women also, because I found out for the first time in a long while, because there's a myth that women don't support each other. But I found out a woman rose up and said, look, the way the country is going, there's a lot of decay in the land. We need to rise up as mothers, first and foremost, because we are thinking of the future of our children. If we keep quiet at such, a time as this in Nigeria, we might not have a Nigeria to live for our children. So because of that, a lot of women are thinking beyond, their usual female sentiments against each other. They are thinking about Nigeria. And that is why a lot of women are out there right now. And I do think every nation needs equal representation of women, because that is the only way a nation can be healthy. You cannot have a society that you do not allow the women to come and, release their own input. A woman has an, emotional intelligence that only them can use to assess situation in an environment. And when you do not allow them to express that in the society, starting from the home front, in natural decay, in natural death,
when you say, when you do not allow them, now I'm trying, to put a finger on where this is coming from. Because I thought you had the numbers.
Women have the numbers. That is the truth.
So
almost 54% of
So
them.
in other words, that means it's not a myth to say women haven't actually given much, of support to fellow women.
We have the numbers, but you see, when women enter all these political parties, the tendency is that they want to give you roles that will not allow you to express yourself, like women leader and things like that. What stops you from being the governor? And even when a woman aspires to be that, what stops you from running for the office of the president? Why can't the men rise up, the ones that, that have the clout, like the influencers, say, okay, we want to support a woman this time. We want to back her up. Because a lot of great nations, they've recognized the input of women in their society, and they are giving them that chance. Nigeria should do that. Let us look at, let me give you a little bit of statistics. Look at Rwanda. Rwanda was one of the nations that had major problem. They had social political instability for years, and they were totally broken down for a long time. We all know that. But you know what they did? They injected 68% women into government. The highest in global statistics ever that has ever been recorded. And we all know what we're seeing now. there is now a total restoration of that nation by the reason of bringing that, you know, the input of women into the society. There's a reason Almighty God created the male and the female. They both have a collective responsibility to build a society. It's an equal representation. It should be an equal representation to bring about productivity and creativity. And when you do not allow a nation, when you have a nation that do not allow their women to function in that capacity, you are bringing about a major problem that will affect the growth.
I think we'll get back. Sorry to cut you there.
Yeah,
I think we're going back to what I'm trying to, you know, find out.
Yes.
And it has to do with what truly is holding the women from participating, because the laws are, I think, are there, not stopping anyone. Perhaps let's look at money in our politics.
Yes, that is one problem.
That's one problem.
Yes, yeah, that's one problem. And the fear of what the society thinks, because women have been stereotyped for a long time. The fear, you know, the society believes, look, aspire for anything. Do not try to upsurge the authority of the man. And when a lot of women are not bold enough to want to, you know, go out there and just be in that space because they believe the territory is dangerous, one. There's a lot of violence.
What do you think?
I know it is dangerous. In our climate, we all know that politics is so dirty in, well, all over the world, but more so in our nation. And a lot of families will not want their women to be put at such risk. So therefore, a lot of women are not bold enough. They are being careful. But right now, because of the situation of the country, women are looking beyond that. They are beginning to take bold steps for the sake of salvaging this nation. So they do not care anymore. They are beginning to have an extra attitude that if I perish, I perish. We cannot continue like this. We can watch our nation go down.
I didn't tell them you're a pastor as well.
Oh, yes, I am.
Yeah,
I'm a clergywoman.
Yeah, yes. Clergy, so I needed to bring that in.
Okay, yeah. Well, first and foremost, I came into this race as a Nigerian. Before I became a clergywoman, I am first and foremost a Nigerian. And I'm concerned about the state of my nation. And, you know, I feel I should come in and effect a sort of change too myself.
So now we have recognized, that's why I'm asking the question, are the women ready for 2019? Now we already know that we have the problem of money, we have the problem, you know, the risk associated with politics in Nigeria. How, if you were to explain or to nurture, you know, a group of young women to go into politics, because we've seen quite a number of them coming in now. If you were to say something to them that will keep them going, you know, and burning towards this aspiration, what would that be?
I would tell them to not be afraid of what the society thinks about a woman coming out to go into politics. They should pursue their vision, and they should work with a network of people that believes in them. You see, I do believe that there are a lot of women out there and a lot of people that have a whole lot of platforms and influences. And sometimes the money thing can actually be curbed by using friends that believe in your vision and them coming in to say, look, I can have you in this aspect and that aspect, and you don't have to pay for this and you don't have to pay for that. A lot of networking, that worked for me, you know, when I was out there to a certain degree. And I found out that a lot of women are ready to push other women at this hour because they just believe that Nigeria needs a change and a woman should come in and be part of
when you were out there, were you approached for money or for some kind of food, you know, staff provision? Because time was in this country where politicians would come out and even give salt. I mean salt to women.
The greatest problem I saw out there was that the electorate, the people we were trying to fight for, to let them believe that we are here for your interest, we want to effect a change, we are new people, our mindset is different because we really do care about you. They don't care about what you think or what you want to do for them. As you approach them, the mentality of Nigerians when it comes to politics is that, okay, you are in politics, oh, is it politics? Where's the money? Give us money. Or before they listen to you, before you can even sit with them on the round table, they're asking you, So, you know, you have go-betweens to talk to the groups of people that you want to approach to discuss your vision with them. And they are telling those people before she comes, tell her to bring this or bring that. So we are still, you know, a long way from understanding what this whole thing is about. A lot of Nigerians don't understand that, you know, these people, the sort of choices you make out there, the people that you vote into power, they actually determine what your life will look like. Your vote, I always say out there that your vote is your life, literally. And until Nigerians begin to understand that it's not about the temporary money they give to you. We really have to come to a place of, you know, dying. If you have to die, absolute sacrifice, to know that I want to make the right choice this time around, because whomsoever I decide to pick to represent me at any level as a Nigerian will determine if I'm going to have 3 square meals on my table.
You know, I hate to think that this has been deliberately done, you know, over the years, you know, to avert a possible change of guard as we're expecting in the future. Now, I'm talking about the old breed of politicians. They've come to realize the power of money in our politics to the extent that some have perpetrated themselves in enmeshed, you know, corruption, so that they can always you know, buy votes and speak to those people. But going into 2019, if we say we're looking to see a change, you know, in governance in some spheres, how do you expect that to really come into play now that you have gone out and people have asked you for money as well?
To tell you the truth, with everything that is on ground, money politics is what is at play.
So we have a problem.
The people's mandate has been stolen. We know that. It has happened in the different states, you know, in Hall, you know, is it Oshun, is it in Ekiti or whatever. We saw it. It was blatantly displayed. So, and right now that even the president has refused to assent to the bill that we help the electoral process to make sure that there will be no rigging and everything. He refused to sign it.
But you saw the reason he gave.
What are the reasons?
But you saw it. The reasons were germane, and it went in accordance with laws, even though lawyers are different, you know, differ on that. But I think, he gave some reasons. But I'm particular about money politics, because it will pain every Nigerian out there to hear you say this and know full well that we have, for instance, we have candidate, you know, Fela Durotoye, we have Kingsley
Mogalu. We have a lot of new people out there that have great visions.
And if it's about money, still the dominant, you know, factor in our politics.
But Nigerians have to get to a point where they have to look beyond big parties and money politics. They have to become patriots. They have to think Nigerian and the interests of this nation and what is good for us as a people. They have to think about transformational leaders, leaders that can actually effect a change and bring in a shift in the total status quo of our nation. Until we begin to think in that direction, we might not really have a change in this nation. And the way it is right now, we are all aware, Nigeria is already the poverty capital of the world. What a shame for a rich country, a country that is so richly blessed and endowed. We are now the poverty capital of the world.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Global statistics have shown it. It's all over. It has been recorded. It has been established. Over almost 70% of the population is living in extreme abject poverty for an oil-rich nation. Because we have had, and what has brought us to this level? Bad leadership. Bad leadership is what has put Nigeria in where we have found ourselves. And until Nigerians wake up and smell the coffee and stop moving with sentiment with all these political parties, start looking at individuals, no matter what party they belong to.
Now you talk about political parties now. One would have thought that the fight, let's use the word, the fight should have started, you know, by infiltrating these existing political parties instead of getting a new one. Fight, break in, and plant yourselves in there and have...
I was actually having one of your guests, we were actually discussing this backstage. That is a good idea. That would have been possible, but can we just be real? in the sort of system that we have and the sort of structures
But I
and the
thought
sort
that would have been
and the sort of cabals.
that would have been the real deal, because if someone wakes up and you decide to say you're going to form a political party and you don't have money, and we still know that these people are looking out for the money.
Nigerians should be educated about public funding, because the problems affecting the whole Nigeria is not just a certain group of people. We are now talking about almost or over 70% of the population. This issue is engulfing the nation. How many are we as a people? And over or almost 70% of us.
Were you able to win some to your side?
We won a lot of people. I did. I mean, I have a political page online, and it was amazing that the sort of people that were interested and the people were able to have structures with across the nation were the sort of people that would have gone with the old brigades, but they wanted something new. They were agitating for something new, and a lot of Nigerians out there were ready to do crowdfunding. They were ready. You see, what the small parties can do is sell their vision to the public. Let the public fund it.
Shouldn't the small party have started by, going into districts? We're talking about local government. Let's try with the local government. Let's infiltrate. Let's fight. Let's say I'm known in this.
A lot of them are going to that.
I'm known, for instance, in Alimosho, and I say I'm going to fight it.
In my sphere,
in my enclave there, and see what I can do. And when people see that my party is making a difference in that small locality, then they can start thinking of what we can actually do.
A whole lot of them are beginning to start at that level. And I know the next question will be, why will somebody like me have said, especially a woman, to say, okay, why did I just go for the presidency?
That wasn't the next question, but anyway, you can make it the next question, because I think
you were going towards that, so I had to bring that on, because my opinion of public office is that leaders or people in government are supposed to have been known to have engaged in community projects. And I always say this, in other climes like the United Kingdom or the United States, you cannot hold a political office, at least to the level of all of the big offices, without engaging with the community. Because governance is about the people, it's for the people. It is the people you are going to represent.
I mean, I read about you. If all you could do, your small interaction with
my
people
little corners.
In your corner, for instance, the little stuff you did around Ogba Axis and a couple of other places you did in Lagos.
Yeah.
Didn't you think that you stood a chance if you had said, I want to maybe represent you in my locality? Everyone will say, okay, Mrs. Ideh is right there. We've known her for this number of years, and we can actually put her face to some projects.
I will have made my vision regional. The problem engulfing this nation is not a regional problem.
They say politics is local.
But let me tell you, it's local, but then at the same time, I have been dealing with this local issue for 20 years, 2 decades. I've been involving in community projects. I've been going to people in their spheres, in their different, the marginalized of the society. I've been engaging them to find out what is happening to them about their health care, about their feeding, about their accommodation, about their children's education, because they've been abandoned. They are the people that the government were supposed to look out for. And if I've done that, I've rescued people at that level for 2 decades, 20 years. So I feel I've been in public service long enough, or longer than the people that have been there. What is public office? I've just explained it. But the sort of people that we have in there, the way they see public office is that they go in there, public office is for them to sit down and analyze what is in it for them, and for their belly and for their pocket. So I say, I have had the experience I need to have. And I've noticed that the sort of people I was dealing with, their issues, their problem, which is abject poverty, is engulfing the whole nation. They are just the faces of the people that I've been representing, I've been dealing with. Their faces represent the whole totality of what we are experiencing as a nation. And I've had experience in that capacity for 2 decades. So if I go regional, it will not help my vision. It will not help my mission. I wanted a transformational assignment. I wanted to be able to transform the nation at a higher level. you know, the office of the president backed up with the power of the constitution. That was what I wanted. If I had gone to those levels, it would have been regional and it would not serve my cause. I mean, that is my own view. That is my vision, and that is what I wanted to do.
Let's close on this.
Yes.
If you were given a chance by any other political party to come, you know, actualize your aspiration of becoming president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, what political platform would you choose?
I will still stay with one of the new parties, to tell you the truth, for now. For now. Things might change in the future. I'm one of the people that actually believe in the vision of a new Nigeria. I'm one of the people that believe that the state of our nation has been brought about by the same old brigades, the same faces, you know, and they are cross-carpeting from one party to the other. So I do not have any confidence in what they are doing. I must tell you the truth. That is what I believe, and they need to really prove me wrong on that. So because of that, somebody like me will feel I will not be given the sort of chance to, you know, express myself and the agenda I have for Nigeria. So I need to go with the new and build up the sort of people that will believe in the new Nigeria agenda. And those sort of people will engulf the nation, and we will eventually have the new breed of people that will make effective change in our nation.
Dr. Elishama, Rosemary, Ideh, many thanks for speaking with us on Political Stew.
Thank you so
very much. And I really hope
much.
that we'll come back again and discuss maybe in the new year before election.
I would love to do that.
We'll take a moment, we'll come back.
Thank you so very much.
Stay with us.